All right, so last episode we built the inventory box. In this episode, we want to build this treasure case where it has all your treasures. Basically, I have a trophy case blueprint. So let me show you how I built this. So let's look at the static mesh right here. All I have is a bookshelf, right? And on this bookshelf, I made it into a blueprint actor. So I made it into an actor. And basically I made a static mesh. And for each one of these little ones, I just attached another static mesh onto it. So what I'm gonna do is show you how I did that by finishing off the last two. So this one I just duplicate, and it's not gonna be called the Sitting King this time. It'll be called whatever this is. Black Links. All right. And then what I'll do is I'll drag it over here. And I'll make sure I change out the mesh to the links. So the way you do that is just find it over here, click it here, go back into your here and just switch it out. Boom. Now that's there. And there's one more that I have to add, which is the Gorlax figurine. Okay. So let's go back to this here, and we're gonna duplicate the black links, and this is gonna be called Gorlax figurine. All right, and then just move it over here, switch out the mesh to make it Gorlax. Find that and switch it. Perfect. Now you have a fully working trophy case. And for me, I can delete this mock one that I had in the world. So I had a fake one in the world, and it had like little fake, just to show us what the idea of it was. Okay, now they're all deleted. So now what we need to do is, here in the blueprint for the trophy case, we need to make sure they're invisible until the player has them. Now we could make a whole bunch of variables in here, which is not a bad idea. I mean, or we could just add a struct in here that has all the variables, each one of these. I think the struct route would be the faster route. So let's go into our assets trophy case, which probably mine's called bookshelf, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and make a struct in here. Blueprint structure. All right, this one's going to be called collectables. Collectables underscore struct, or S. In here, I'm about to add all those there and just as booleans, so I can turn it on or off. You could add them by number, just give them a number, or you could add them by name. For me, I have names for each of them. So jewel mask is the first one, and I'm just going to add each one of them. So in your trophy case, go down to variables and add a new variable, and this one's going to be the struct. So it's going to be collectables. And it's not going to be a boolean, it's actually going to be the struct, so search for it. There's mine right there. Compile and save. Now what we can do is we can set the visibility based upon the struct. So for example, if you want your jewel mask right here, we can say pull it off and say set visibility to true, right? Based off this struct. So get the collectables, split the collectables, and you want to see if jewel mask is true. So do a branch from there. If jewel mask is true, then you want to set the visibility to true. Boom. So this right here is going to be a custom event. and it's going to be called check item or check collectible. All right. So basically, this one event right here, we can just run this right here. So basically, if it's going to run through all the collectibles and set each one to true every time we do this function. So this is going to get lengthy, but it's going to be very worth it. So let's just go down this list and copy and paste it just like this. So we got the jewel mask. Let's do the crest of Silmar. Copy, paste. So if all you got to do is just do another branch. So you're going to have to just keep on branching it off. So this is true. What is this? The crest of Silmar. So find that one, crest of Silmar. If that is true, set the visibility, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, let's just keep on running down. So do all of yours until you get all the way down. Now, I know this might not be the prettiest code, but it's going to work. So basically, all that's going to happen is every time we call this function, check collectible, from the trophy case BP, it's going to check and see if that collectible is set to true right here. If it is set to true, then it's going to make sure that it's visible. So now all you got to do is make sure all your collectibles are invisible. So come down on their visibility and set all of their visibility to unchecked. Now you don't have to do visibility unchecked. For me, I am. If you want the player to like be able to see them, you could have just, instead of setting the visibility, you could have changed the material to the placement material and then changed it back to the regular material. But for me, this is the way that we're going to do it, the visibility. All right, bet. So now we need to figure out how we can set each one of these to true, right? So each time you find a collectible or something like that, you need to be able to set it to true. So let's go to those pickups, third person, blueprints, assets. Would they be in collectibles or would they be in pickups, I think? Pickups, collectibles. Okay, so here's where we're going to need to, one by one, we're going to have to make each one of these their own blueprint. Actually, we have something called master pickup item. Let's just make a duplicate of that, which is in our pickups folder. And we're going to use this one. So this is going to be a master collectible item. And I'm going to move this into the collectible folder right here. All right, perfect. So in this one, what we're going to do is just keep everything the same. So it casts a third person character, sets the last known item, blah, blah, blah. Visibility in the viewport, it has a mesh, which we need that. It has a widget, which we also need that. And it has a sphere. So we'll use all of those things to set these collectibles. All right, so now what we need to do is if there's any code that all of them have, like if they need to all have a sparkle, we'll put that on the master. But not now, we can just make a child blueprint. And this will be called our jewel mask. All right, so for the jewel mask, for the mesh, let's go into the jewel mask. So for the mesh, let's change it out to the jewel mask. And the sphere can shrink down a little bit. And the mask can actually turn the correct way. Perfect. Now the widget, let's make it visible, I think. I think that's what the problem is. Let's make it visible. And also put it on world right now. So there it goes. So now you can see that widget, you can turn it the right way. And I'm gonna bring it right down next to the mask. Perfect. And now all I have to do is set the name of the mask right up here to the right. Jewel mask. Now, what happens when you pick it up is a little different though. So I'm gonna put, actually, oops. I'm gonna move the sphere down a little bit so it's in the middle. I don't know where I'm gonna put this mask at, but wherever you pick it up, you're gonna be able to pick it up. So either way, event graph. Let's look at the master one on the event graph. What happens is you can just see the name. So on the jewel mask right here on right click, we need to say interact, event interact. So when you interact with this jewel mask, what's going to happen is we need to pick it up. So we'll cast to the trophy case and we'll set jewel mask to true. So right click, get all actors of class, trophy case. And then we're going to drag off there and say get. There's only one trophy case, so we don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to say set collectables. Split the pin structure and say jewel mask to true. So what that's going to do, as soon as we pick it up, it's going to set the jewel mask to true in the trophy case. And then from that trophy case, what we need to do is call that function. That function is called check collectible. So from this one right here, call check collectible. Boom. Now what it should do is after that's set, it should check it and say, oh, there's a jewel mask, and then it'll make it visible. But now what we need to do is make this one invisible so we can destroy the actor somehow, some way. So we'll make that visible. We'll delay very slightly. You could do like a 0.001, right? A small delay. And then we're going to delete this mesh or delete this actor, destroy actor. That way we don't have to go through and keep on setting, oh, third person has this collectible, and then we set the other collectible. It's just a little bit simpler this way. Each one of the blueprints are going to have the exact same code, except only thing that's going to change up is this. So all you have to do is copy and paste and then change these up. So it's going to destroy the actor afterwards, and that's all we want. What you could do also, like what we may do in the polishing phase, like I might do like 2 videos on polishing at the end, but what we might do is put like a widget here that says like, oh, you got the jewel mask. And it'll tell us that we got the jewel mask right there. So let's actually test it out to make sure that works. So let's put that jewel mask out here in our level. And let's go ahead and pick it up. All right, there's the jewel mask, and it says it's a jewel mask. Beautiful. I picked it up, and now it's on the shelf. Look at that, y'all. So that's how you do a trophy case. You can do that to all your items. Literally just have to copy and paste the code. And I just wanted to show you how to do one so you can do all of them. Now, that is the end of this episode. I hope you learned something cool. We're going to keep on rolling. We're almost to the quest system. So I believe the next episode, we're going to work on our quest system. But again, I hope you learned something this episode. Other than that, that's all I got for you. I'll holla at y'all on the next one. Peace.
Run to the money, on the feet, don't fail. The DA and the judge, wanna do their best to jail. I done turned it all.